Salutations! Back to hit point again with the next game, Crystal Ortha. Or just Crystal C, as someone in game mentioned that Ortha means sea in another language. I'm not sure what to expect with this one. I mean, these games usually start out just dumping the plot on me, not this game. It just throws my main character named Ross in a cave, with a voice telling him to go this way, not this way. You get like rock slides on the barring you from going. It's from exploring quite a bit just yet in this first area. But it leads him to this huge stack of gold coins, the voice inside a small purple crystal just lying on the ground in front of this cache of gold. A giant scorpion shows up, so main guy squares up. In comes a girl from behind about to fire on the scorpion, and boom, you wake up in bed. Recurring dream or memory? You're a gunshot from a nearby tavern. You gotta investigate. It's from a girl in a white, wide-brimmed hat, who I think you may have seen in your dream. You're like, oh, wait a minute. But that kind of resolves itself as your main guy is a merc looking for monster killing work, and off to the first dungeon he goes. But it's a hit point game, so you get another case of main character wearing something on his head that makes him and his sprite stand out. This time it's this weird hood feathered deal. Ninja meets Native American. If the skin tone matched the latter, he'd be 10 times cooler. Look at you, Gaius. You sexy motherfucker. But yeah, the usual. Enemy 1 being a poncho, always at full HP after every fight's completion. Encounter rates on the heavier side of things. Collecting stuff, like seriously, the first town I was in, I got like 5 things to collect to boost stats and just ores and stuff. Just looking through barrels and crates, 5 things in the first town, wow. Very quickly getting a Wild Arms kind of vibe, because there's guns and steam engines, but also the means of these magic crystals that sound like they just outclass any normal weapon or machine. Even some monsters have taken into being affected by the crystals, so your first job, you gotta claim the literal head of one of these beasties. You get stiffed by the guy who sent you to take care of this, but you're just in time to be reunited with a white hat girl, Margaret, to find the Motherlode. Her asking price, 10 million. And she even gives you a means to travel faster on the overworld on a motorbike. Where'd you get that so early to make you move faster, yet the load times out in the overworld than in dungeons load longer? You eventually meet a treasure hunter that flirts with main girl, and later an actual shaman for your party for 4. And the shaman believes in dragonism. Just when I thought I was out of the dragons, the fact that legends say the crystals are all that's left of these dragons pull me back in. There's just these normal humans all in these dragon onesies and whatnot. Anyway, the shaman uses no weapon, no armor, all rings. That's your accessories, so 3 slots. And learns enemy techniques in place of her having an actual attack. Or that's what it looked like at first. She does do damage with the learning ability she has. I guess she just like pounces on the enemy. It's like, tell me what's your secret. And I'll just snake one of the enemy attacks that they can use. Anytime someone poses or announces something in game, there's this weird muffled sound of applause, cheers, or something to that effect. When somebody pops off. The game actually allows more skills to learn and actually equip on your 5 slots for each character, offering a lot more of a diverse moveset for characters, so I could swap around moves so my party wipes are like first thing on the list, so I can just boop 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 boop, make grinding a little faster when I wasn't auto battling, which eventually comes to that. It always does. Weird how I'm reminded of Pokemon with the move list swapping when the game with monster taming in it did not have that option. No money in the game. You get weapon, shields, and rings to your 3 equip slots, like I said. Going in with ores you can find in the dungeons, and you can just use those ores to craft new stuff. I warn you, the ores are finite in quantity, so look before you leap. Some dungeons, depending on the location, will do onset effects. Like the first instance of this is a mountain where thunderstorms are constant, so sometimes characters are going to get zapped and they need to unleash their thunder instead of the move you selected. Next one was fire. That'll sometimes inflict burn damage randomly for each battle in this setting while the effect is on. It's random if it'll do the effect or not. Sometimes you'll just power through and take your turn normally. There are some spots in the overworld map that are just, oh, here's this random enemy with this rare weapon or craft material. So even more rewards to find sometimes. Yeah, the sparkly spots where you get stat ups. And they're not small increments. Like I found a plus 25 attack increase for a party in a town. That wasn't even like super hidden. I was just skulking around one of the towns and just found it. It was like, definitely rewards the curious. So yeah, fights are a little easier as a result. Bosses are still enough of a challenge, though, if you aren't fully prepared. Main guy's got an attack where you can take off the onset effects and turn them into temporary buffs for a time. I forgot to mention this in my last review of Dragon Lapis, but they eased on trophies quite a bit. Like, there's no get X amount of treasures or do X amount of damage last game. This game in particular, too. Much more emphasis on the side quests, which this game does really well. Only with 8 of them, but it's still like quality over quantity. It takes you some real amazing side content dungeons. Down to even stuff like your eventual airship to go wherever you want. You actually get a scene of your party inside the airship. So, once again, hit point with its trying pants on. That said, I kept losing one boss fight by trying to do it myself, and then I let Auto Battle handle the rematch and came back. I was like, alright, I'll come back later and do something in the meantime. I think I went to the bathroom or something, came back. Oh, I won? Pain in the ass main boss kept reviving his strong side enemies, and I guess I just got really lucky to just wore him out or something? One boss fight saw half my party just randomly keel over and die, and I lost my only reviver, so I had to redo the fight. Lucked out the second time and finished that boss off. You know, hard boss fights is one thing, random bullshit continuing to happen doesn't help. The final boss was really epic and will no doubt test you. I was in the 80s to a level 75 and still had to hope against hope my reviver didn't die. Little shorter RPG than usual, but I think this made contest with Monster Viator as my favorite hit point game. Presentation and story is really solid. The plot's a gradual reveal throughout the game as opposed to most. Usually they just dump the plot on you and it's like, okay, do things to prevent that. And you just meet colorful characters along the way. Trophy-wise, might be a bit tricky though, as you gotta poke around hidden areas and find all of Moon Guy's spells. RPG Insanity once again helping me get that currently 26.1% rare plat on PS4. Is it the platinum that's rare, or was it that one that was... I forget. But overall, I felt a bit bogged down near the end, and like I said, the game was over quicker than I would have liked. Which is a plus for an RPG if you consider I wanted more of the game to play. There's 2 post-game dungeons, but you don't have to worry about either one of those for trophies. With all that said, I think this game just barely makes it into the top 10. 4 places below, still the best in my opinion that Hit Point did, and that was Monster Viator. If I was rating only Hit Point Kemco games that I played so far, this game would be second place. Hit Point made an RPG I really felt I would have given the full $14.99 to play. I've only got a small handful of these games left to review on my list. And maybe 1 or 2 that isn't on my list, that I didn't know about till later on. But anyway, join me next time for a one-title game called Ruinverse. Until then, take care, and thanks for watching.